Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen Williams, founder and president of the CreditRepairShop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about some more debt that's being released into the market. And also, this video must be for someone or groups of you, or maybe you. Uh, Something sent me a signal and said, I need to talk about these things, about how you need to be thinking to accomplish your goals, not only just with your credit repair, but with getting rid of debt, with moving on in your life. Something just came to me and it said, Steve, you need to make this video because somebody out there needs this. This is very important. So first, let's start with the debt collections that's going to be released in the market. I got another email last night, 3 emails, payday loans. Again, I cannot say the name because it will make the video come down here on YouTube. But there's debt collection accounts being sold from a payday lender, $730,000. Charge-off date 2016. Another one is $200,000. Charge-off date was 2016. Another one, 200, around the same amount, $200,000. Charge-off 2016, and then another one, it was those 3. So we're looking at a little over $1.1 million in payday loans being released. Average account is $567. So this is not very high balances. So that means that these accounts, if you spread that out, that's a lot of people. Charge-off date for all of them was 2016. So first thing that you have to do is look at your state to see if it's past statute of limitations for your state. For them to be able to come after you for contract agreement. And if it is past statute of limitations, you don't have to go into anything about the debt other than saying in a letter written to them, send a certified mail, saying that it's past statute of limitations for contract law in my state, and I want you to cease all collection activities, or I'll be filing a complaint with the proper authorities, and the proper authorities would be your state attorney general's office or Department of Financial Institution, also who license all of the debt collection lawyers and companies in every state. If it is not past statute of limitations, then you need to be prepared for when they send that letter to make them prove. You want to validate 100% that, number one, they have a right to come after you for it because it's going to be sold. So they have to get all of that paperwork, the contract from that payday lender to prove that you owe the debt. They cannot just send a letter stating that they got it from from the original creditor, and that this is what you owe. That is not enough to hold up in court. And so what you have to do is you have to submit to them a validation request that they give you all the documentation, including the contract that you had with the original creditor. If they don't do that, if you don't do that, you're going to allow them to go to the next step, which is to put it on your credit reports, and then they're going to get the ball rolling to get you into court to try to get a garnishment. Well, first to get a judgment, and then after the judgment to get a garnishment. So you have to be prepared for that. Now, let's get into what came to me, that someone needs this. Maybe it's you, this information. A lot of people, and I read the comments, people email me, talk to clients, and this is really across the board. Even with my business clients with my other company, when I talk to them, I talked to one of them last night that owns, I think he has 2 restaurants. He owns 7 Cricket stores and a couple of Boost Mobile stores and a few Metro PCS stores. And he was talking to me about how his business, and I was telling him, and he was really gauging me for what the other people are saying about business, because he know that I deal with a lot of other business owners. So it's what are they thinking about business, and this is why it's so important to control your own thinking. For years, this is something that I trained my salespeople to do, and it was something that I learned early when I started my marketing company. Was when I would walk into an establishment of an advertiser that I worked with, they mainly, if things were not going good, they were okay if I was to say, if they would ask me, well, they would say first it's slow, but tell me how other people are doing. And one of the first lessons that I learned back then, we're talking about in the 90s, was that if they were slow, I should not say that it is better at another place. Even though the right thing would have been was to tell what was going on if another business was doing very good, was to say that they're doing good, and then but the one that I was in front of said it's slow. I learned very fast that I should say it was slow. And the reason why on that is because people manipulate their thinking by what other people put into them. They look for validation. If it's slow, and if it's slow with other people, then it's slow for everybody. What I've learned over the years is that is not the right answer to give to somebody. That is not the right answer to give to somebody. And what you should do is you should make people think in a positive manner. You should tell them that they materialize what they think about is what it will become. So if I tell them it's slow, and then they tell me it's slow, I tell them more about it being slow, they accept everything being slow rather than thinking about ways to increase their business. So when this comes to what specifically for you, if this is what this message was meant, who this message was meant for, is that your thoughts, the things that you think about, become the things in your life, and those things materialize. So if you wake up every day and you think that you have bad credit, and you just let that soak in every day when you wake up, all of the bad things that can come with having bad credit, the news reports that come in about people that have bad credit, you let that sink in, you become reactive to what other people tell you rather than what you tell yourself. You have to stop thinking that way, or you will stop the good things from coming into your life. You will actually make more bad things happen to you, because you will put into the universe that this is what I think life is. This is what my life is. So you're going to get what you ask for on a daily basis. You're going to get what you think about on a daily basis. You might be thinking to yourself, well, I tell myself that I want to have good credit. I want good things to happen. I want good things to happen. Then if that's what you tell yourself, then what is happening is that you're not making yourself think that way. It's like you have a conflict within yourself. You have a subconscious mind that is playing out everything that you have told it to play out, which is all the negative, and you have a conscious mind that is trying to feed positive information into it on what you want your life to be. So the way to overcome that subconscious programming is to tell yourself what you want. Tell your mind, tell your brain, which is the computer. The mind tells the brain what you want. The consciousness tells the mind what to think. And the mind tells the brain, which is the subconscious computer, what to think about. And you have to play that over and over and over. But the only way that that's going to work is if you first have a picture of what you want. You must understand deep down inside what you want the goal to be. You have to picture yourself in it. If you want a new car, you need to picture yourself driving it. Something that my wife and I used to do when we were bringing ourselves up in business is we would go to the dealership and we would touch the car. We wanted to have a house. Look at houses in the neighborhood. You want to have money, picture yourself with having money. And don't have any negative feelings about having money. That was something that I had to get over also. Why do I have so much money? And then people in my family, people that I grew up around, friends, didn't have money. That was something that was that I had to get over subconsciously, because you can play that in your mind, and then even though you're consciously trying to have good things, you have a fight in your mind. You must feel okay, fine, good, great about all of the good things that happen to you, and do not let the bad things that happen to other people or the circumstances and situation that other people find themselves in affect you. That might sound harsh, but it doesn't, because if you are in the best position, that allows you to be able to help other people. I've helped many of my friends and family with giving them money, giving them support, help, ideas, information. I've done that. But I wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't get myself into the right position to be able to do it. And that is not only financial or material, that's with my mindset. So you have to consciously tell your mind what to think, how to feel. Even if you don't feel good, you must tell yourself that you feel good. You must tell yourself what you want. Put that into your subconscious mind, which is your brain, your computer, your body's computer. Tell it over and over and over what to think. And it will materialize. Trust me, it will materialize. The more you believe in that, which is another aspect of it, it will materialize. The belief comes from telling yourself something over and over and over. You will believe it. There's a whole bunch of things that you believe in that are 100% not true. All of us have things that we believe in that is not true. So you must be willing to do that every day when you wake up. The first thing is, how do you feel? I feel great. I feel healthy. I feel wealthy. I see myself achieving my goals. Start your day off that way. If something happens, that's just what happened. Don't let that affect you. You must consciously also understand what people are putting into you. You have an ability to accept it or reject it. Just like I'm giving you this information, you can either accept it or reject it. When other things come to you, you can accept it or reject it. But what happens if you feel bad? Just like I just gave you the example of when I walked into the business owner and he said, it is slow, and tell me what other people are going through. Is it slow for them? That is allowing something else, other information to come from the outside to affect you on the inside, and it needs to be the opposite way. So you must feel good. You must think of what you want. You must picture yourself with what you want, and you will have what you want. I cannot tell you when it will happen. No one can tell you when it'll happen. But from my understanding, it will happen when you fully believe. And I don't want to say but, and when it happens, you will have already over time became that new person that you probably will not even remember, unless you wrote it down on a piece of paper, that whole time of your thought process on getting there. Because you will become that new person. You will have those new things in your life that you wanted, and you will fully believe that you deserve them. You won't even really you'll understand, but you won't think about the times that you had to start that thinking process, because it will be like second nature to you. It would be automatic. Think of how you were years ago with your situation, even if you had a better life 5 years ago or you had a worse life 5 years ago than you have right now. Think of how over time, how that changed. If it changed the next day, it would be like a shock to your system. That's why when something bad happens to people that is really bad, it's like a shock to their system. But even if it was from good to bad, and it was just like how every day or over the years of life progressively got bad, that person got used to that. And they would probably say right now, how did we get so used to this situation? It was over time, the belief, the putting it into your mind again and again and again. You got used to the worst situation that you're in, or the new situation that is worse than what you were 5 years ago. And it's the opposite. If 5 years ago you were doing, you wasn't doing so well, and now you're doing really good. The same thing over time. You did little things and you ended up being in a better position. What I'm telling you right now is you need to be more aware of that you have full control of that. We all have full control, and you can make things happen a lot faster because now you understand how you can make that change happen. And yes, you're going to have to take leaps of faith. You're going to have to stand out and be willing to be embarrassed. Be willing to have people maybe laugh at you. People laughed at my wife and I when we started our first company. They made fun of us. But do you think that they make fun of us when we drive down the street in a $150,000 Range Rover Autobiography? Do you think they make fun of us when I have my own office building that's paid for, no mortgage on it? Do you think they make fun of us when we're able to take trips and do what we want? When I have employees that work for me, if I wanted to, I could tell my secretary to get me a cup of coffee and she won't blink at all. I don't do that. My wife said, don't do that. Get your butt up and go get your own coffee. But you understand what I'm saying. People laughed at us, but we believed in ourselves. We had the picture of what we wanted. And the crazy thing about it is that we exceeded from the first group of goals that we made back in 1990. Even 4 years later, we had exceeded that goal. So you never know. When you start to do things and put yourself in the right mindset, great things can happen to you. And the crazy thing about it is that we didn't even really understand. We were just basically staying positive. We didn't understand that if we controlled our minds even more, that we did practice with subconscious, but we didn't understand how the whole body and all of this stuff that I just explained to you works. So even for myself, from what I've done from last year to this year is just tremendous. What I'm going to be doing from this year and moving forward is going to be tremendous. It's going to be an incredible ride. And we know that everybody's about to start making those New Year's resolutions. But how many people are going to follow through with them? So, I don't know. So, thank you for your time. If you need help, please go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. If you need your credit reports and scores, remember everything starts there. Click on the link below or go to scores.com. Get your credit reports and scores because everything starts there. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Spread the word. Tell your friends and family. It is not going to be the same for you anymore because I'm waking you up to how to make these changes in your life when it comes to dealing with credit, when it comes to dealing with debt, and when it comes to dealing with your mind. Share it with your friends and family. Thank you again. This is Stephen Williams, founder and president of thecreditrepairshop.com.